peace before us, and peace behind us, and peace under our feet. Peace within us, peace over us, and let all around us be peace.
I'm going home, oh yes, I'm going home, oh yes, I'm going home, Lord, Lord, I'm going home, I'm going home, Lord, Lord, I'm going home.
The belief that education is about learning to think intensively and to think critically has been a central tenet of the University of Chicago from its inception, as has the belief that such education demands an open, rigorous, and free environment. Dr. King's legacy speaks to the value of free exchange and openness towards the ideas and perspectives of others, regardless of their background or standing.
You conquer self-centeredness by coming to the point of seeing that you are where you are today because somebody helped you get there. If you have the privilege of a fine education, well, you have it because somebody made it possible. If you have the privilege to gain wealth and a bit of the world's goods, well, you have it because somebody made it possible. He who discovers that he stands where he stands because of the grace of God is the one who finds himself. Amen.
Oh, brothers, let's go down, come on down. Oh, brothers, let's go down, down in the river to pray. As I went down in the river to pray, studying about that good old way, and who shall wear the robe and crown, oh Lord, show me the way.
My spirit is doing a happy dance at the pleasure of presenting to you our keynote speaker. Please join me in welcoming this creative spirit for freedom, whose life tells us that unless we keep moving, we're going to hurt. Ms. Judith Jamison.
You feel in your gut, down in your deepest part of your soul, that the right things will happen, that flower that comes up out of the cement after everything's been covered over, that flower, that life, that light will still rise. The Alvin Ailey American Dance Theater is testament to that. We've been around for 52 years despite the obstacles that have been in our ways. Alvin Ailey started the company, and I'm going to brag a little bit because I got to tell you this to reassure that you know, in 1958. 58, one performance at the 92nd Street Y, 8 dancers, his friends. He started it because he wanted to see our culture. He wanted to see our images on a stage. There was a mushrooming sense of rebellion against racism that did not go the route of protests or marches or sit-ins. And when Dr. King said, we must not allow our creative protest to degenerate into physical violence, again and again, we must rise to the majestic heights of meeting physical force with soul force. Our soul force was our performance, and our dancing was our protest. And even though our hearts were breaking when 4 innocent girls were killed in a church bombing in Birmingham in 1963, and when Mr. Ailey shared the devastating news of Dr. King's murder just before we were supposed to go on stage at Lincoln University in 1968, we wiped our tears and we went on stage and showed that we would not be cowed and that we would not be defeated. And we knew that the signs of freedom were coming up on all fronts, and our signs were our body's excellence. This impetus stemmed from the past history of all African Americans, but carries with it a universal message for people of all backgrounds: the inventiveness of the human spirit to retain its will in the midst of social, economic, physical, and psychological hardships. It's in this excellence that we reaffirm Dr. King's dream, that through the beauty and humanity of our heritage, we will unite people of all races, ages, and backgrounds. No one can eclipse the journey to the light that burns within each of us. Thank you, Dr. King.
There is a deep down within us an instinct. It's a kind of drum major instinct, a desire to be out front, to lead the parade, a desire to be first. And the great issue of life is to harness the drum major instinct. Jesus gave us a new norm of greatness. If you want to be important, wonderful. If you want to be recognized, wonderful. If you want to be great, wonderful. But recognize that he who is greatest among you shall be your servant. That's a new definition of greatness. And this afternoon, the thing I like about it, by giving that definition of greatness, it means that everybody can be great, because everybody can serve. Hold on.